Howdy!
Hello!
How's it going?
Doing really great, especially now that we're doing this episode in 3D.
Wow!
Is that fucking crazy?
Well, this episode, it's super crazy because we're talking about our post-quarantine plans, we're talking about internet trolls who hate on Animal Crossing for no good darn reason, and we're also talking about movie trolls, those cute little good luck trolls.
Yep. We're talking about interesting things today.
Today on Despop.
Every day. No, I'm sorry. Today on Despop. All right. We'll see you in a second.
Also, it's like 4:20 tomorrow. Smokes weed.
Dude, what else you gonna do? It's quarantine.
Nothing, I don't smoke weed. All right. Hello, Andy. How's it going?
You know, just living life, yep, that's it. Just living.
Just barely alive, not dead.
Yep, story of my life. Story of my half life, half dead. Half.
Like Schrodinger's Andy.
Yeah, Schroeder. Yeah. Yep, that's me.
Is he dead? Is he alive? Open the box to find out.
I don't know. And also, this marks the first video appearance of my quarantine cut. So that's a thing.
It does.
Yeah.
This is the first video we've done at all.
Yeah.
For the podcast.
Yep. That's the special. That's the special thing about this episode.
But really, Andy's hair.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't match. We've discussed it. It doesn't match my desktop avatar, but we're not changing it. So.
We're unapologetic. We are not going to bow down to you. You are nothing to us. We are our own people.
Okay.
And I just wanted to come out of the gate and say that. Make that abundantly clear for all of you who think this internet fame will change us. We are not beholden to anyone.
And note that this isn't just an improvised conversation. This was rehearsed. This is a script that we practiced and we are reciting off of a prompter right now. This is, any new listeners know that this is the beginning of every episode. We say this exact same thing. It doesn't get different. It's the same every time.
So, besides just living, what have you been up to? You done anything fun?
So I started printing out coloring pages. So that's what we've been.
Okay.
Dana and I have been doing that. Lego Masters wrapped up. And my favorite group made it to the last round and ultimately got in second place. I was very disappointed. I think that their build was definitely second place worthy. It was not the best, but I liked them as people more than the ones who won. So I was a little disappointed, but it is what it is. I really hope that Lego Masters gets another season. I really like this.
Yeah.
And I also participated in a game jam.
How was that?
So it was called Jamcraft. The objective was to make a game in which you crafted something, and then there are optional subcategories, and we chose the alien subcategory. Our concept.
So like literal crafts.
Yeah, so you
like
have to
space crafts.
You have to craft. You have to mix things together to make new things.
Okay.
We did not go in the yarn direction of welcome to arts and crafts.
Make lanyards aboard a spaceship.
Yeah, make friendship bracelets.
Aww.
The idea we went with was that you're a Captain Kirk type character, and after a mysterious teleporter incident, you must have a one-on-one chat with Flippy the alien, in which you have to fire him from your crew because it's his fault.
Yeah.
And then through crafting, every bit of dialogue has a beginning chunk, a middle chunk, and an end chunk that you can switch in and
It's a lot
out
of chunks.
to form sentences. And then
Okay, so that's how you craft things? Or
yeah, you craft new
that's
sentences.
a part of the crafting?
Yeah, and you can't be too mean, you can't be too nice, and you can't be too in the middle because it affects the ending
Where
of the
do you
game.
go?
If you're too mean, he gets upset, and he turns
Okay.
into like a Darth Vader guy. And if you're too nice, he
Oh.
mistakes it for flirtation, and then you guys end up together, and he gets a promotion. And if you're too half and half about it, he just keeps his job. So you have to use
Wait, so
a mixture of all
if you're
three.
if you're too nice, you end up together and get a promotion?
He gets a promotion, yeah.
But if you end up together, that's still like a win.
Sure.
You want to see your partner succeed.
There's different endings, so yeah.
I like how the bad ending is my girlfriend or my boyfriend did better a job than me.
It was not your primary objective. It's a there are a lot of there's 6 endings. Most of them are pretty nice.
I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
You know how I like to tease.
I'm upset. Now here's where our story takes a turn. So we have this concept. I finished writing the script, and I actually used Spine to animate this character, which I'll share some animations with you when we're finished, I guess. But I submitted all the assets and everything, and everyone in the group ghosted me, and the project didn't happen.
Aw.
So I spent a lot of time
That's
working
sad.
on all that and like the script and all the endings and stuff for nothing. I don't know what the deal was, but I was a little upset. I sent the person who asked me to join a message, kind of like, "Hey,
Scalding email.
it would have been great if you told me you weren't interested in the project anymore, but you know, whatever."
I think, like, just to speak on like when we did the game jam, like, yeah, it was overall a good experience, but it was just so much work that I feel like we ended up lucky that we had someone who like was willing to put in that other part of the work. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
truly, I feel like that probably doesn't happen a lot. Like that stuff probably falls apart a lot more often than it comes together. You know?
yeah. I'm really hell bent on. I want to win one of these, and I feel like both concepts that we had, the first game jam that we had, and this concept, I feel like they've been pretty fun concepts, and I'm hoping that there's a game jam I'm wanting to do next, I think 1 or 2 weeks from now, and we'll have a whole month to do it that I'm looking at, and so I'm hoping that I'll have like I'm hoping to get a win under my belt by the end of the year, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I'll be sharing the assets that I made because I'd like to do something with them.
Sure, yeah.
And I figured we can maybe after this have like make a YouTube video or some special clip, and we could read through the script because it's a fun script.
Do it.
You could choose the dialogue options, and I'll be the alien. So
what is that, bonus content I hear?
yeah. So
oh, you know I'm gonna choose the flirt ending.
well, there's
do.
6 endings, so you get to try to collect them all. Maybe, I don't know, it might get old after the first try, but we'll see. Yeah, so that's what I've been up to. Game jams, coloring, and then the last thing. So I had to use part of my stimulus check on buying pants because during the quarantine, I have outgrown my 2 pairs of jeans that I used to wear back when going outside was a thing. So
gotcha.
I'm getting larger, and I need
He's growing.
I need pants. So my greatest fear right now is that something, an emergency will happen, or some sort of event will happen in which I have to dress up or leave the house, and I'm not gonna have pants. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but yeah, I might have to make an emergency run to Walmart or something. But yeah, the pants are in the mail. We'll see. Hopefully I'll get them. I'm really nervous about it. Yeah, anyways.
Well, I'm glad you got new pants on the way.
Yeah, I was pretty, I played it safe, you know, I did get one pair of pants had holes in them, and I'm like, okay, whoa, like this is crazy.
Crazy.
This is a little out there, but I'll do it. But yeah, so living on the edge. Yeah, so how are you? What are you up to?
Me? I'm good. I saw Trolls World Tour today.
Okay.
That was interesting. I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, I don't know. Have we already had this conversation? Did you already watch the original Trolls?
I've seen the original Trolls. I haven't seen this new one.
Okay.
And the last episode we talked about it very briefly. You were interested in watching
Sure.
it.
So I watched it. It was cute. I mean, it's got a great message. I feel like those are the kids movies that are like you can enjoy as an adult, which is great. But no, it was wonderful. Lots of good music in it. I'm curious to see how that will do because that's like, I believe the first like big film to not have any sort of theatrical release and just be released via streaming that we've seen. So that will be very interesting to see how that, like how much that makes and like, did it, I'm sure it won't exceed their expectations, but I'm curious how that'll all shake out. I mean, maybe it will, and maybe I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
It's very interesting.
I heard that it's been doing pretty decently. It's been making money. I followed someone on Twitter who made a comment about it, along the lines of like, "Oh, I'm glad to see that it's actually doing well."
Yeah.
But
it's like it's $20 to like rent it, and if you have like a bunch of kids, like, and you would normally go to the theater if you have like 3 or 4 kids, then that right there would be more than $20 worth of going to the theater. So you're saving money by buying, like, if you would have gone to do it anyway, you are saving money by buying it in your home. So that means that the movie, like DreamWorks or whatever, is losing out on that money. So I don't know. I'm just curious how that'll all work out.
I also think we're in a nice sweet spot where everyone's just now gone through all of the content on their streaming services and we're looking for new things. I was actually looking at I want to see Trolls 2 because I know you were super interested in it, so I figured that would be something interesting to talk about. So I need to see it eventually, but I was actually more leaning towards Hobbs and Shaw. I had never seen any Fast and Furious movie, but that one just looked like this, like...
There's a lot.
It looked like this, like...
There's a big back catalog.
It looked like an over-the-top, cheesy, shitty movie, but, like, in the best way possible.
Sure.
And so I figured I'd give that a try. I haven't seen it yet, though. But, yeah.
I finally went and I watched The Witcher. Have you seen that on Netflix?
I watched the first episode, but I realized very quickly that it's one of those shows that I can't just have on in the background. I actually need to put 100% of my attention into it, so I haven't watched it yet.
It's good. It's really good. I'm kind of bummed because like only the first season is on Netflix, and so they were rumored to have started filming. I believe that now the virus has like delayed what would have been the second season, so that's a little bit of a bummer, going into it, like consuming the entire first season and then being like, well, maybe it'll get made eventually, which I'm sure a lot of stuff, we're going to be in a big drought of content and videos and things, in the next coming months, I'm sure. But no, I loved it. And it's very interesting because I had seen the like toss the coin to your Witcher, like in like comics and like memes and stuff like that. But I had no context of what it sounded like. And so to finally hear that in the show, I was like, this is really good. I like this.
Did you play any of the Witcher games or read the books before?
But that did, I have not. And after watching this series, it makes me want to play them.
Yeah, I heard that the Witcher 3 sales made a pretty huge jump after the series started, which was really interesting to see an older game like that shoot back up in the sales charts after being dormant for so long.
Yeah, I mean, the show is really well made, so it was a great, not to say it's a marketing piece, but it is,
Sure.
it's a part of the the IP. So yeah, I don't know.
Neat. Well, speaking of hitting hitting a drought of the of this quarantine, I figured it might be either it's a 50-50, either it's going to be fun or depressing to talk about what do we want to do, what are we going to do when we get out, once all this is over. Yeah.
You know, I feel like I will. I don't know. I haven't had too hard of a time. The biggest problem I've had, which I know I'm like fortunate to be able to work from home, so I don't want to say that's a problem, but doing everything like basically in one chair, like every leisure activity I do at the computer, every like, work thing now I do sitting in this office chair at the computer. There's a lot of time I spend here, and so that's been kind of like a weird mind thing I've had to get out of and be like, okay, I need to physically get up and like go to another space and like do something different for a little bit. But I think the first thing I'll do will be just like go to a museum or something. You know what I mean? It's going to be something just like, I like going to the museum, but it'll be something like that, like very leisurely, very calm. What about you?
I've wanted to get a tattoo for a while, and
You already have tattoos.
Yeah, I have one tattoo.
Okay.
But
I was like, wait, I've seen a tattoo on you.
But I'm graduating during this whole quarantine thing, and so part of my original.
Oh, do you want me to post a photo of my graduation to make you feel better about that?
Oh yeah, thanks a lot. I love that. I really like that fucking meme is so like, oh wow, that's.
It's not a meme because people don't
Yeah.
People are genuinely like, it's like a, what would you call it? Like a Facebook challenge or something.
Who thinks
like,
that makes anyone feel any better? I don't understand that mentality. It's just like, oh cool.
It's just shitty people who need attention.
Must be nice.
Whatever.
Yeah. They're the people who
what kind of tattoo you gonna get?
Yeah. I'm wanting to get either a large squid, probably a large squid actually, but
okay.
I don't know why
either
I said
one large squid or another large
I don't know why I said probably. That was a weird, my brain just inserted that in. I want to get a squid on my arm, starting from the shoulder, maybe like to the midsection here.
Are you a squid or are you a kid?
Definitely a squid.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've wanted to get a tattoo for graduation, and it sucks that it's gonna get delayed, but that's like the first big thing I'm gonna do once I get out of here. I'm gonna get that tattoo, and it'll probably take on a new meaning now that I had to.
Do you have like a piece of art in mind, or are you?
No.
Do you want our listeners to create squid tattoos and send them in and get a tattoo on your body?
Please. Yeah. I'm so self-conscious about finding art online in general of things to get tattooed, because I'm like, man, what if this artist is like secretly a horrible person and it comes out way later, and then every time I have this look at this piece of art on me, I'm like, well, I'm thinking about how the guy who drew this is secretly a Nazi or some thing, so yeah, I might try to like get something original made and just hope that the tattoo artist isn't a horrible person. But yeah.
So something I kind of forgot, like I wanted to tell you this part of the Trolls World Tour before we get like way too far away from that.
Look, I'm talking about trolls.
So the main character, I just had this thought and then it reminded me of it. The main villain of this movie.
Yeah.
Barbara, I think.
Wow, spoilers.
She. Spoiler. I'm so sorry. Her like whole character arc is she like hates things, and that's kind of her personality. And at the end, like, obviously it's a kid's movie. She has this like realization through song and dance that like, oh, maybe don't like hate on everything that you just don't like. And I I have never identified more with like a villain character in something. Like I don't I feel like about, maybe a year or so ago, my personality was very like all about saying things I don't like all about like I hate this, like I'm gonna let you know I hate this, like I hate this piece of media, I hate this thing, and I feel like I've let that go, and so I identified a lot with this villain, and it was very cathartic to see that play out on screen, and like I don't know, it just I wanted to bring that up just because like that was a very transcendental moment for me.
Yeah.
Watching
Sure.
Trolls World Tour. Anyway, continue.
No, I mean, I did not go through nearly as big of a change as you mentioned. The only thing that I changed in regard to like saying my opinion is I now understand how hyperbolic I come across when I'm sharing my opinion, because if I don't like something, I won't say I don't like it. I'll say like, oh, I hate this. And I always had like this understanding in my head of like, oh, well, people know I'm passionately hating this thing. But now I realize that with no context, it does sound like that. So yeah, I'm aware of it.
That's how I was as well. Like it wasn't like I really genuinely just hated things. It was like it was kind of like a hyperbole where I was like, oh, like that's fucking dumb. I hate it like that. And it just I don't know. I don't feel like it made me a better person, and I feel like after dropping that and like letting that go and focusing more on things I like, I don't know. I feel a lot happier.
Well, nice. Congratulations. I will watch Trolls 2 with this added context.
You're gonna be like, I fucking hated it. Yeah. Just like Guns Akimbo, it was dumb and I hated it.
I think you'll be glad to know that I've watched 3 movies since then that have gone below Guns Akimbo, so it is no longer the bottom.
What movies?
There's this one movie, Country Bears. It's a 2002 live action Disney movie.
I'm familiar with the Country Bears. Continue.
Yeah. There was another one, and I don't recall the name of it.
Familiar with their work,
but I think the very bottom of my list right now is a 2019 thriller, I guess, and it's called Harpoon, and it's about so a really rich douchebag brings his best friend and his girlfriend on a yacht to go celebrate his birthday, and while they're out at sea, he realizes that his girlfriend and his best friend have secretly slept together, and he tries to kill them.
As you do.
The yacht breaks down. They're all stranded on it together, and hijinks ensue. And it was just really bad.
Thanks.
Yeah, it is definitely the bottom of my list.
Did you watch? You haven't seen Parasite, right?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I'm watching. I'm going
I'll
to
watch it again
soon.
if you want someone to watch it with. I'll watch it again.
I'd be down. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on Hulu. I was planning on.
It's good. I enjoy it.
It's on Hulu, and I've purchased the movie, and I've yet to watch it.
Oh.
So I need to. I got in a Facebook argument with someone who refused to acknowledge the achievement that the movie had made, and then I felt like a huge hypocrite because I myself have not seen it. So I need to see it to rectify that if it's ever used as ammunition against me.
Well, now it's been physically said on this podcast.
Yeah, I didn't want to lie. I can't lie on Desktop, Brian.
Look me in the eyes and lie to me.
I've seen Parasite. It's so good, dude.
Wow. It is good. I would watch it again. I would watch it. I really enjoyed it, and I feel like it. I don't know. While I think that Oscars and like other awards are shams and like just totally don't matter, it is nice to see it go to someone else who's not just like this white guy, whatever. I know that's like a shitty,
Sure.
Whatever PC thing, but I think it's cool.
I just don't like people who write off a movie just because it's not English. Like, it's not in English. Yep. And yeah, you have to do like extra legwork of reading the subtitles, but I mean, that shouldn't be something to keep you from watching it. And I know I haven't seen it, so like I'm one to talk, but like I watch a lot of like anime movies whenever they release and stuff, and it's like there's really good media out there and it could be really good, but people writing it off who haven't even seen it just because it's like not an American thing just is so annoying to me.
Yeah, I get it, and like in a way I understand people not liking subtitles too, so I can't like fault people for that, like if you just inherently don't like subtitles, then that's your thing. But because I know people that just don't read very quickly, and like they spend their time like reading the subtitles and they kind of miss what's going on screen. So like, whatever, if that's not your thing, that's not your thing. But I don't know. I am a firm believer. I like both. I like subtitles and dubs over movies. I think they're both equally, they have their merits. So
I always prefer the dub, but if there's a sub, if the sub is the only option, it's not like I'm not being put out that much. So yeah,
dubs are good for when you're multitasking. If you're playing something, or your attention isn't like 100% on something, that's kind of what I like those for. But.
Yeah, I'm kind of at that point where everything Dana watches, she always puts subtitles on just because.
I love subtitles.
If she can't hear it or something. I used to hate it at first, and now I'm just like,
I think Aaron might have made a comment when I put subtitles on something recently. I was like, whatever.
It's just a way of life.
You're gonna have to learn to love it.
I've just learned to.
Yeah, I mean, after a while, they don't register as like
anymore. Yeah,
things on screen. You kind of just forget about them. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Subtitles in games are different though. You got to have those on.
Oh, absolutely. Game audio, for some reason, is just always... The background music is always just so ridiculous, and then, like, the audio, they always try and be, like, coy with it and make it, like, the character, like, the further away you are, the, like, softer it gets. I'm like, no. Don't be doing all that. If they're saying something...
How dare you immerse me in this world?
I'm never immersed! Just say what it needs to be said.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's our opinion of the day. Yeah.
I don't know. I have such a hard time because I am like a little hard of hearing. So in video games and just, I do have a hard time a lot of times picking up the audio.
Sure. Yeah.
So like, I don't know. It's a weird thing for me. I don't usually like a lot of background music when I'm playing games unless it's Persona, which has beautiful background music. I don't know.
The one thing that annoys me the most about especially modern games is they focus so heavily on aesthetics that they don't prioritize the practicality of text. And so you'll go into these menus and the font will be like size 2. You have this like I have like a 60-inch TV, so you'd think that the text would be like pretty big, and the text is like half an inch big, and I'm sitting like all the way on the other end of the room, and I can't read. I have to squint my eyes and try to read all this text, and like when you look at a map, all the icons are so small on the object, and it just there's no option to increase the font size. So you're just like
more accessibility in video games.
Honestly, it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Or like mobile games, that's the worst part. Whenever you're like playing a mobile game and an ad shows up and then the little X button is on the top right corner, but it's so small and you can't press it. It's like so tiny. Anyways, let me get off my soapbox.
Mobile games are coming for you next.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mobile games launch a hit ad against me. Andy defended Parasite on Facebook, but he hasn't seen the movie. Can he be trusted? This is sponsored by the advocators of small X closeout buttons in mobile games.
So there is something kind of interesting that I wanted to talk to you about. Something that I've seen a lot recently, and I want to get your thoughts. But that kind of ties in with like what I was saying about Trolls World Tour, and
I'm sensing a pattern here.
So the villain, like, comes full circle. She hates everything. She hates things that are different, and then she kind of learns to like, let people like what they want to like. Well, I feel like I've seen this sudden influx now of people that hate Animal Crossing New Horizons.
That's just the life cycle of anything popular.
Yeah, and it seems to be... this in particular is very confusing to me. Obviously, I know there's a lot of like not so reputable news sources like Business Insider and like all these like...
Are you talking about the article that went viral of the guy shitting on Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't think that was like a genuine take. I think that was definitely fishing for attention.
I agree. No, I agree. And that's what I'm kind of getting to. I don't think that it's like a reputable news site, and so I think that they are looking for those clicks, and I think that was the whole point of it.
Yeah.
But the article in particular, like the language that's used, was really like...
it's so derogatory. Yeah.
It's very derogatory, and it's so apparent that it's sad, like looking for attention in that way. Like, I don't know. I remember the phrase that sticks out to me the most was stupid baby game for stupid babies or something like that. Yeah. And I was like,
he kept calling it a children's game.
Yeah, which I'm kind of a firm believer. Like, no, like there's nothing that's... there are things made specifically for kids, but there's no limit on who can enjoy those. So fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I really hate when people act like that. And getting back to my hating roots, it's shitty because it's like, let people just live their lives and enjoy, especially now when we're in this really weird place of uncertainty. There's a lot of scary news, and people just want to do something to like take their stress away and like, enjoy this game that's been, awaited for several years. I don't know. It's just shitty, just this person acted... the article I read, he was like, yeah, I enjoyed it. Oh, and then it fucking sucked after a few hours. I'm like, okay, that's your own prerogative. If you don't like it, like you don't like it. But it just... to go into that game looking for something that Animal Crossing is clearly not going to give you. Like, there was the things he was upset with, I'm like, yeah, that's Animal Crossing. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you had done any amount of research or, and not just bought the game because your friends bought it or whatever, then you would know that that's just the game, and it is more simple, and it's meant to be kind of a life sim and a kind of a relaxation thing. So I don't know. Go fuck you to that guy who wrote that article. That's just kind of my main point. Let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. I know I'm giving them what they want by responding to it, but I mean, just go fuck yourself. I feel like looking for attention in that way is just like, really?
We need to like...
I don't know.
You don't watch Philip DeFranco, do you?
I do, yeah.
The douchebag of the day. We need to have our own douchebag of the day award, and it can go to that guy.
What? I don't know. I'm sick of hot takes like that where it's like, great, I'm glad you feel that way and you want to, for some reason, make others feel bad for liking something. Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's annoying, and especially...
I think that's the thing I didn't like the most, so...
What annoys me is it's made... like, he could very well not have that actual opinion. It is... that article was written solely to get attention and to get clicks, and it definitely did.
Yeah.
Especially given that, like, we both clicked it. We both read it. And...
well, it was suggested to me by... Chrome, I believe.
Oh, really?
It was suggested, and that's the only reason I clicked.
I saw mine in a someone retweeted it along with a comment of like it kind of what we've been saying, like, oh, it's kind of shitty how someone's like fishing for rage clicks on something that's not hurting anyone. And then I clicked the article and I was like, oh my god.
I looked for comments, and so I kept scrolling and seeing ad.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm getting out of this. Like,
It's always
very clearly just for money.
it's so annoying whenever people, and it happens with just Nintendo a lot because they just have that Disney reputation of like, oh, it's
there
made
was the
for
whole thing with Breath of
kids,
the Wild.
it's made for children.
That guy, yeah.
Blah blah blah. It's so annoying when people say that because these companies aren't, targeting, like, that Animal Crossing isn't targeted for children. It's targeted for like as wide of an audience as you could possibly hit. And if they were aiming for children,
Yeah.
then we wouldn't like it. Like, there's more depth
Well,
and more things there are things that older audiences could appreciate in these things, and calling them children's games is just incorrect.
I almost feel like the secondary market is kids in this game. Just knowing, I think Pokemon, their primary audience is kids, which is interesting. But this one, I kind of felt like kids were maybe the secondary audience. Just for like the way I played it, I don't know. I just wouldn't see myself enjoying that very much as a child, but I know a lot of people grew up with Animal Crossing and really enjoyed it. So
I just see, like, whenever they're working on their target audience, it's definitely like kids ages like 7 to like people in their like early to mid 20s. Like, I feel like that's the audience for something like Animal Crossing. They're not like, oh, we're aiming for ages like 6 to 13, or whatever. And also there's just like, it happens so often that the term children's game has a negative stigma, which results in us having to defend, it's just annoying, and I hate it. That happens with so much of the media that I consume. It's like
Pokemon is a big one for me. People are all the time like, oh, it's a kid's game. I'm like, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong, but there's nothing wrong with me liking that as well,
Yeah, or I remember, so our good pal Brantley is friends with someone who he was telling me how he was recommending the Lego Movie to someone, which is like a really good movie. And again, like, back to the Trolls thing, there's like, there's
a good message.
There's messages and cadences and themes that adults can get when watching things like that, and also the animation and the style is just great. And they dismissed it. They were like, oh, it's a kid's movie, there's like nothing there for me. And it's just like, it's just so annoying. Or like, oh, Steven Universe, like, you recommend that show and someone's like, oh, it's a cartoon. It's a bigger issue of just,
I get what you're saying. I feel like if someone doesn't want to
it's so
consume something, that's their own thing, and that's fine. But when someone is judging someone else for consuming something, that's where I take issue.
Sure. Yeah. I just think dismissing media as like, oh, this is a children's thing is just, ugh. It relates to what I was saying about Parasite. You're writing off something that you could have really enjoyed for just a really dumb reason. It shows
a lack of maturity to me, but yeah.
Yeah.
Which is ironic.
Isn't it ironic?
I don't know. It is what it is. People are gonna always be that way.
The world is a horrible place, and it's filled with horrible people. And then there's like maybe 10 to 20 decent people, and they're all busy playing Animal Crossing right now. So
yeah, it is what it is. I think the thing that sticks out of my mind the most, when I used to work in the hair salon, people would all the time, either when I had colored hair like I do now, or they would, be like, man, I wish I could pull that off, or I wish I could do a color, or, and oftentimes it was an older person. And, I get where they're coming from, and I 100% understand, but I spent a lot of time just trying to like deprogram that feeling from people and just be like, hey, like, you can do whatever you want. Like, whatever makes you happy when you look in the mirror, that's what you should do. You know what I mean? And not worry so much about what someone else thinks about your hair or thinks about you, or, you know, you should do, if you've wanted to do this your whole life, what is stopping you? You know what I mean? You should do it. You should, if you don't like it, you can always change it, but you should, you know, try it. Who knows?
Yeah, I've definitely been embracing that mentality since I started college.
Since you shaved your head.
Since I started college, I've adopted it, and obviously, I'm still keeping the torch going. Just fuck it, let's shave my head and see what it looks like. And people are like, "Oh, well, it looks bad." Not a lot of people have had very positive things to say about my hair, but you know, now we know what it looks like. And I don't think it looks bad.
I don't think it's bad. I don't think it looks bad.
I hate my hairline. That's the takeaway from this. I do not like it.
Yeah.
It's so, like, I look like Mega Man with his like weird helmet thing.
Fuck.
Yeah, that was my biggest takeaway from it. But definitely not my worst hairstyle, I don't think.
No, I didn't like the black hair on you.
Yeah, I'd put this above my jet black hair. Yeah. And I don't think the black hair even looked that bad. It's just that the stylist dyed my eyebrows black, and that was the worst part.
Yeah, I remember that work meeting the day. Do you remember that when we both came in to like an all staff meeting at work, and we had separately, like, this is before we were really friends.
Yeah, we
had separately colored our hair. Yeah. The same day we walked into work, we're like, oh, hey.
One of us is going to have to change back. Yeah, I remember that.
I did, like, that was the day, did I do green that time? Or
yeah, I think the first crazy color that you've done when we started working together was green. I think you had regular, like, blonde hair, I think, when you started.
Probably, yeah.
And then you went to green. Yeah.
That was just a really funny meeting. I just remember sitting there and being like, huh, you know, the way the world works, I don't know.
Yeah. That was kind of when it clicked to me that I was like, oh, like, I'm not special. like all graphic designers impulsively, or I just assumed that you did the same thing that I did, was just like, oh, I'm dyeing my hair right now. And I was just like, yep, all graphic designers just constantly color their hair, and I'm just acting the way every graphic designer acts, and I have no unique personality. I'm just like
we are two on parallel paths.
Yeah.
That is you and I.
It's like whenever you pick the same class specialization in like an MMO, and then you find someone else and you're the same level, so you have the same armor. It's like
we're the same transmog shit.
It's like, god damn it, he has the same wizard hat as me.
One of us is gonna have to change.
Yeah, so
yeah, well,
yeah. It actually just occurred to me that it occurred to me earlier today that my experience at University of Houston Clear Lake is just over. Like the next time I go to campus, it will be to pick up my stuff from the office and then go home.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That's sad.
It is. And it also sucks that I had a lot of my graphic novels at my desk that are just sitting there that I could have actually finished Watchmen during all of this. I didn't. God damn it. Yeah, that's just a sad thing that I just mentioned, but you know, that's
yeah, it is. We'll have to throw you like I don't know, some sort of.
I'm assuming there's gonna be like some sort of.
We'll make a ceremony where we like get a podium and we'll have speakers.
We're gonna definitely have a graduation party at my place once everything's over, but. Definitely something at the office too, because I need to milk office cake. Yeah.
If you enjoyed listening to this episode, watching this episode, like this video, like our podcast, subscribe.
If you have any suggestions for topics of conversation, email us at deskpopcast@gmail.com. And follow us on social media at deskpopcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, gotta skedaddle.
Bye.
Bye. All right, so don't hang up. We're gonna have to do the intro now.
we both get up and we're both like, it's like
my backdrop falls over.